This video is where you'll find out how much you should spend on a diamond engagement ring, the average amount most people spend, what the price range for a beautiful ring actually is, what you need to know about diamonds and rings before you buy one, the difference between going with a big box store or a small jewelry store. We'll talk about lab-grown versus natural diamonds. Throughout the video, I'll give you some info from my experience that could end up saving you a lot of stress, potentially thousands of dollars, and by the end of this video, you will feel more prepared to buy that ring. My name is Raj. On this channel, we talk about money. Congratulations on finding your person, and let's get into it. Okay, so the big overarching question is, how much should you spend on a diamond engagement ring? And the reason you never get a flat answer is because it depends on a lot of things nobody but you and your significant other can answer. So in general, there is technically no correct amount, but there is definitely a wrong answer, and that of course means overspending on a ring. We don't want to do that. So let's set the record straight right now. Guys on the streets asking girls how much engagement rings should cost is just internet noise. Your friends and family usually say really expensive or even outrageous amounts without having done any actual research, and the 3-month salary rule was made up by the diamond industry, so that's not helpful either. What is helpful is actual data. So what does a modern day human in this economy spend on an engagement ring? According to the website The Knot, the national average amount spent on an engagement ring is $6,000, which is significantly different from what most people would probably expect. 1/3 of people surveyed spent between $1,000 and $4,000, and 8% of people spend less than $1,000. People living in the mid-Atlantic spent almost $8,400, and most people living in the Midwest spent close to $5,400. So there is some regional variation. So given the data, I think it's safe to say anywhere from $0 to $10,000 would be a perfectly reasonable amount to spend on an engagement ring for basically everyone. But of course, that's going to vary high and low from couple to couple, and is probably a huge relief for most people given some of the expectations we've heard. Based on what I've seen on the market at this price range, you can get a really nice ring that someone is going to genuinely love, looks great in photos, and looks great in real life too. You have my full permission to not go broke over an engagement ring. So best practice, figure out what you're comfortable spending, set the budget, and let's get to the fun part, what we're actually going to be buying. Let's start with the diamond itself. Every diamond is evaluated in 4 different categories. The first is the cut of the diamond. This is not to be confused by the shape of the diamond, which refers to round, oval, cushion, pear, and so on. More on that later. The cut refers to how symmetrical and polished the diamond is, which directly affects how much sparkle the diamond has, which is obviously a big deal. The second is the color of the diamond. Now you might think the color of the diamond is pretty straightforward, but in reality, this can be a huge issue. When you're buying a diamond, one of the easiest things to notice to the naked eye is the overall color, and anything but white is going to be a problem. How the diamond looks is going to vary in all sorts of light, photo, and ring setting conditions, but you want something that is unmistakable for a diamond. The third is the clarity of the diamond, which refers to the purity and rarity of the stone, but also how it presents blemishes and inclusions. So when a diamond is formed, there are almost always microscopic imperfections. Think of them like a diamond's fingerprint, making each one unique in some way. But the less imperfections, the higher the grade. These imperfections can present as a cloud or a collection of pinpoints in a group. They can also present as graining, which is white or colored reflecting lines that can make the diamond look hazy. Sometimes they appear as a cavity, which can be colored and more obvious, or they can be considered feathers, which are tiny fractures inside diamond. These are wildly important to know because the type, location, and size of these imperfections might be noticeable to the naked eye, which will not look good, but in some cases aren't even noticeable and can actually be hidden, like being placed under a prong that holds the diamond in place. So as long as they're not noticeable or they can be masked, this isn't a huge deal, but knowing where the issue is on the diamond and how it's going to be set can help you make a better decision. If you're shopping online for a diamond, sometimes the website even includes a detailed report so you know exactly what you're buying. The fourth is the carat of the diamond, which a lot of people think is how big the diamond is, but it actually is how heavy the diamond is. But obviously the bigger the carat or the weight of the diamond, the bigger it is. For reference, 1 carat is about the weight of a single paperclip, but what is more helpful is this graphic from Brilliant Earth showing how generally an increase in carat is associated with a bigger sized diamond. Keep in mind this is for a round shaped diamond, so if you're shopping for a different shaped diamond, this will vary from shape to shape. And the difference between 0.1 or 0.2 carats is barely noticeable, so you could find some value buying a 1.8 or 1.9 carat diamond as opposed to a full 2.0 carat diamond. The 4 C's aren't just arbitrarily evaluated. This has become a very standardized process, but we don't really need to get into the super fine details. We need to know what's going to look good to our eyes. Since the only people using magnification on diamond rings are professionals, when I was shopping for a diamond, I went through the 4 C's and made a red line where I knew I wouldn't be comfortable, because if there was any chance my wife could see an imperfection, I was not okay with it. Anything above the line I would consider, and anything below was out. Because I did this though, this did drive up my cost, but don't think that 1 or 2 grades below my personal red line is a bad diamond at all. It just depends on what you're comfortable with and your budget. One way to help with this is to go actually look at a lot of diamonds in real life. Cut is ranked from poor all the way up to super ideal. I drew my line at good, but was absolutely willing to extend higher if my budget allowed, given that the cut is critical to the overall shininess of the stone itself. Color is ranked using letters, Z being the lowest and D being colorless. For me, my line was drawn at G, because based on my personal experience looking at diamonds, I really couldn't tell much difference between an F and a G, so that worked for me. Clarity is ranked from included, that's I1, I2, and I3, up to flawless. My line was drawn at VS2, although I would generally prefer a VS1, but this is going to depend on the individual diamond and where and what kind of inclusions were present. Carat is ranked in numerical order, with a smaller number being a less heavy, smaller diamond, and a larger number meaning a heavier and therefore bigger diamond. I had no absolute maximum or minimum here, so there was no line I could draw, which is why I recommend you and your partner go to a jeweler and try on rings of different shapes and sizes, at least to get some ideas going. If that's not an option for you, or you want to plan a surprise, just remember to stick to your budget, ask for help figuring out what style of ring will work from close friends and family, and I'm sure you will pick something amazing. Also, points for being romantic. Let's move on to the ring itself. The biggest thing here is to know your materials, as they all have different colors associated with them and how much material you need. The average engagement ring is about 3 to 5 grams without the diamond. This is going to help you price out the materials for the ring, at least give you a rough ballpark estimate. But be advised that larger ring sizes, more intricate ring designs, and heavier materials are going to push you on the high end or even beyond that range. And you're paying for the labor and design of the ring as well, not just the raw materials. So remember to factor that into your price estimation. One super important thing to note here is that if your significant other has any metal allergies, you're going to want to bring this to your jeweler's attention right up front so they can help you make a good decision, or pick a less reactive metal if you're doing this on your own. The first material is gold, starting off with 24 karat gold. This is considered 100% pure gold and is expensive and bright, but is soft as far as metals go, so it's likely to get damaged. But gold allergies are extremely rare, so that's a nice bonus. Also, fun fact, carat with a C is used for diamonds and carat with K is used for gold. 18 karat yellow gold is about 75% gold mixed in with other metals, and this makes it a little bit stronger and a little less expensive as well. 14 karat yellow gold is about 58.5% gold and offers a durable and affordable material choice. White gold has all the same carats as yellow gold, but offers a more modern look, a good value, and is durable as well, although it does have to be plated with rhodium to prevent the other metals from reacting with the skin. Rose gold also comes in the same carats, but usually contains more copper, giving it a more rosy look. Platinum is an option and is stronger and more durable than gold, but can be expensive. Palladium is less expensive than platinum, but doesn't require plating like white gold. Tungsten is strong and scratch resistant and also very affordable. Titanium is considered low maintenance, modern, and durable. Stainless steel is also scratch resistant and affordable. And finally, cobalt, which is known for its durability and radiance. So there's a lot of options: wood, silicon, even meteorite too, but the most common ring materials for engagement rings seem to be platinum and gold. Now, of course, an engagement ring could be a simple piece or could have more intricate and unique elements. When a loose diamond is set onto a ring, it becomes art, and you're going to want to consider designs. Halos, which are rings of diamonds around certain parts of the ring, smaller accent diamonds, diamonds on the band itself, and of course, the overall shape of the diamond factor into this, as well as the number of prongs that actually hold the diamond in place, and what material those prongs are made out of too. I can't really help you too much in the design element here because it seems like everyone has their own individual preference. So asking what someone wants is usually a direct way to get an answer, so you're not in the dark completely. And you should know that ring styles come in and out of fashion, so a popular style this year might not be so popular next year. But what I can tell you is to make sure that you know the ring size. That is super important. The most common engagement ring style is a solitaire style ring and features a single round diamond. So if you're looking for the classic option, that's your best bet. But of course, you can get an emerald-shaped diamond, a pear-shaped diamond, or one of the other shapes available, and this opens up a whole new realm of customization. There is no shame in stalking a Pinterest board to get some answers. Just be sure to read the fine print when you're buying if you need to exchange for whatever reason. And of course, you're going to want to work with someone who knows what they're doing. So let's go over the pros and cons of the big retailers and the smaller jewelry stores. From my experience, big retailers in the diamond world usually have a large selection of diamonds and rings, so they're ideal for trying out separate styles and usually have a decent warranty coverage as long as you meet the requirements. They also have tons of locations, so if you need them for a repair, it's usually pretty easy to find a place to get your ring serviced. Unfortunately, they will usually mark up their prices. People there might work off commission, and that doesn't lead to the best experience sometimes, and they might not be so willing to customize a ring if you have a unique style in mind. When you work with a smaller jeweler, they usually have less of a markup and can offer more customization options. It's not a guarantee, of course, and they are likely limited in locations. Since my wife was very specific with her design and materials, a bigger store wasn't willing to make it, so we went with a smaller jeweler, and it worked out for our needs. Both are good options, but overall, there are pros and cons, and your experience will vary from location to location. It's best to do what works for you in your circumstances. Remember to trust your instincts and check the Google reviews. The big shakeup in the diamond world is the new development of the ability to create lab-grown diamonds. And of course, there's a lot of opinions about lab-grown versus natural diamonds. Some people just have a preference, and if that's you or your partner, that is totally fine. But you should know the facts. Most people can't tell the difference between a natural diamond and a lab-grown diamond when they're side by side. Natural diamonds are usually more expensive compared to the lab-grown counterparts, and that molecularly, lab-grown and natural diamonds are the same. This gets far more complex when you consider the diamond industry as a whole, but for the purposes of buying a ring, that's what you really need to know. And I would absolutely make sure that picking one or the other isn't a deal breaker, because some people feel very strongly about this. If your special somebody wants a natural ring or a lab-grown ring for whatever reason, you're probably locked into that option. But if you have the choice, both are good in my opinion. And remember, there are all sorts of other precious stones that also had value, so proposing with a sapphire or an emerald or any other precious jewel is fine, but this really depends on the people involved, mainly the person receiving the ring. And I know the whole process can get very exciting, just don't forget to buy the insurance coverage for the ring and make sure you leave some room in the budget for a wedding band as well. I hope this was helpful, and if it was, let me know by clicking the like button. Feel free to subscribe for more content. Best of luck on your hunt for the perfect ring, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.